More is better. Right? More money means more happiness. More success means more freedom. More stuff means more comfort. More experiences means a fuller life. We've been told this our entire lives. By our families, by society, by advertisements, by social media. The message is always the same: you need more. What you have now is not enough. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep acquiring. But what if that's the biggest lie we've ever been told? What if the secret to happiness isn't having more? What if it's having just enough? Today, I want to talk about a Swedish idea that challenges everything our culture believes about success and fulfillment. It's a single word. And it might be the most important word you learn this year. It's called Lagom. Lagom is pronounced Lagom. And it simply means, just the right amount. Not too much. Not too little. Just enough. Simple, right? But the way this word changes how you live is anything but simple. Let me paint a picture. Imagine two people. Person A believes in more. More money, more possessions, more achievements. They work 70 hours a week. They buy things they don't need to impress people they don't like. They fill their house with stuff until every shelf is full and every closet is overflowing. They're always chasing the next goal, the next milestone, the next big thing. And yet, person A is never satisfied. There's always something more to get, something bigger to achieve. The finish line keeps moving. The happiness they expected to feel when they got what they wanted never quite arrives. Person B believes in enough. They work hard, but they protect their time. They buy what they need and what they truly love, nothing more. Their house is not full of stuff, but it's full of things that matter. They have enough money to live comfortably, and they don't lose sleep wanting more. Person B is content. Not perfect. Not without challenges. But at peace with what they have. Who do you think is happier? In Sweden, most people would choose to live like person B. Not because they lack ambition or drive. But because they have a word, and a philosophy, built into their culture that guides them toward balance. That word is lagom. The Swedes have a famous saying, lagom är bäst. It translates to, just enough is best. And they mean it. In Sweden, this isn't just a saying. It's a way of life. Lagom shows up everywhere in Swedish society. How much you eat. How much you work. How much you spend. How you decorate your home. How you interact with others. In every area of life, the Swedes ask themselves the same question: is this lagom? Is this just enough? Or am I going too far? Now, where does this word come from? The origin of lagom goes back centuries. The word is connected to an old Swedish word, lag, which means law or common sense. So lagom literally means something like, according to common sense. What's the sensible amount? What's the right balance? There's also an old story, connected to Viking times, that adds some color to the meaning. The story says that Vikings would pass a drinking horn around the group. Everyone would take a sip. But nobody took too much. Because if one person drank too much, others would go without. So lagom became a word about fairness. About balance. About making sure everyone has enough, not just yourself. Whether this story is completely true or not, the spirit behind it is very real. Lagom has always been about more than personal balance. It's about community. About thinking not just of yourself, but of others. Let me tell you about a man named Eric. Eric grew up in a small Swedish town. As a young man, he moved to New York City for work. He got a high-paying job in finance. And for the first time in his life, he had access to everything. Eric bought expensive clothes. He ate at fancy restaurants. He moved into a big apartment and filled it with things. He worked constantly, because in New York, working constantly was how you succeeded. At first, it felt amazing. Everything was new and exciting. He had more than he ever dreamed of having. But after a few years, something shifted. Eric started to feel exhausted. Not just physically, but in his soul. He was always busy, always wanting more, always comparing himself to colleagues who had even more than him. He went to a party one night and saw someone with a newer car, a bigger apartment, a more expensive watch. And that old familiar feeling came back. The feeling of not being enough. Of needing more. Eric called his mother back in Sweden. He told her how he felt. She listened quietly, and then she said something he would never forget. "Eric, you forgot how to be Lagom." Those words hit him hard. Because he knew exactly what she meant. Growing up in Sweden, Eric had never felt this hunger for more. Life was comfortable. He had enough to eat, a warm home, good friends. He didn't compare himself to others. Nobody around him did. That wasn't how Swedish people lived. But America had changed something in him. The culture around him was obsessed with more. More money, more status, more everything. And without realizing it, Eric had absorbed that obsession. He started to think about what Lagom meant. What would it look like to live Lagom in New York? It wouldn't mean giving up his career. It wouldn't mean living poorly. It would mean finding the right balance. Enough ambition, but not so much that it consumed him. Enough comfort, but not so much stuff that it weighed him down. Enough success, but not so much that he forgot to enjoy his life. Over the next year, Eric made changes. Small ones at first. He stopped eating out every night. He started cooking simple meals at home. Not because he couldn't afford restaurants, but because home-cooked food felt more satisfying. More Lagom. He looked around his apartment and started removing things. Clothes he never wore. Books he would never read. Decorations that meant nothing to him. He didn't throw everything away. He just kept what he truly needed and what he truly loved. He started saying no to social events that drained him, and yes to the ones that filled him up. He reduced his work hours from 70 a week to 50. His income dropped a little. But his happiness went up a lot. Eric told me that the biggest change wasn't external. It was internal. He stopped measuring his life by how much he had. He started measuring it by how good he felt. And for the first time in years, he felt good. This is the heart of Lagom. It's not about having less for the sake of having less. It's not about deprivation or sacrifice. It's about finding the sweet spot. The place where you have enough, and enough feels genuinely good. The Swedes understand this in a deep way. Sweden is one of the most equal countries in the world. The gap between rich and poor is smaller there than in most nations. People don't show off wealth. They don't brag about achievements. There's a cultural norm called Janteligion, or the law of Janti, which basically says, don't think you're better than anyone else. Lagom fits perfectly into this mindset. When everyone around you is living with just enough, it's much easier to feel content with just enough yourself. You're not constantly comparing. You're not constantly wanting more. You're just living. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds peaceful, but I can't just settle for enough. I have goals. I have dreams. I need to push myself to get where I want to be. I hear you. And I want to be clear, Lagom is not about giving up. It's not about being lazy or having no ambition. Lagom is about being intentional. It's about asking yourself, before you pursue something, why do I want this? Is it because it will genuinely make my life better? Or is it because I think I should want it? Because everyone else wants it? If something truly matters to you, pursue it fully. Work hard for it. Lagom doesn't stop you from that. But if something is just adding stress and noise to your life without adding real value, Lagom gives you permission to let it go. Lagom is wisdom. The wisdom to know the difference between what you truly need and what the world tells you that you need. So how do we practice Lagom in our daily lives? Here are some practical ways to start. First, start with food. This is one of the easiest places to practice Lagom. Next time you eat, pay attention to how much you're eating. Are you eating because you're hungry? Or are you eating because the food is there? Are you enjoying each bite? Or are you rushing through your meal? Eat until you feel satisfied. Not stuffed. Not empty. Just enough. That feeling of, I've had what I need, and it was good, is Lagom. Second, look at what you own. Walk through your home and notice your things. Do you use everything you have? Does everything have a place and a purpose? Or is there stuff everywhere that you never think about? You don't have to throw everything away. Just notice. And if something no longer serves you, let it go. Not with guilt, but with gratitude for what it was. Third, practice Lagom at work. How many hours are you working? Are you working more than you need to? Are you saying yes to everything, even when it drains you? Try to find your Lagom at work. Work hard enough to do good work and feel proud of what you accomplish. But protect your time outside of work. Rest is not laziness. Rest is necessary. And Lagom says, enough work is enough. Fourth, spend Lagom amounts of money. Before you buy something, pause. Ask yourself, do I need this? Will it genuinely make my life better? Or am I buying it because I want it in this moment, and I'll forget about it next week? This isn't about being cheap. It's about being thoughtful. Lagom spending means buying things that matter and skipping things that don't. Fifth, practice Lagom in your relationships. Spend enough time with people to feel connected and happy. But don't push yourself past the point where you feel drained. Some people need a lot of social time. Some people need more quiet. Neither is wrong. Lagom is about finding your own balance. Sixth, and this one is important, practice Lagom with your expectations. We put so much pressure on ourselves. We expect to be perfect at everything. We expect our lives to look a certain way. We expect to have certain things by certain ages. Lagom says, let go of those expectations. Have goals, yes. But don't torture yourself when life doesn't go exactly according to plan. Some days will be productive. Some days will be quiet. Some years will be full of change. Some years will be calm. That's not failure. That's the natural rhythm of life. And Lagom helps you accept that rhythm, instead of fighting against it. 7th, notice the small pleasures. Lagom isn't just about having enough stuff or working the right amount. It's also about appreciating what you already have. A good cup of coffee. A sunny afternoon. A conversation with a friend. These small things are enough. They really are. Let me leave you with this thought. There's a story that many people know. The story of Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Goldilocks tries the porridge of 3 bears. The first is too hot. The second is too cold. The third is just right. She tries the chairs. Too big. Too small. Just right. The beds. Too hard. Too soft. Just right. That feeling of just right is Lagom. It's that perfect balance between too much and too little. And it exists in every part of your life, if you're willing to look for it. You don't need to move to Sweden to find Lagom. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. Just start paying attention. Start asking yourself, throughout your day, is this Lagom? Is this just enough? Does this feel right? And when you find those moments, when something feels just right, not too much, not too little, hold on to that feeling. Because that feeling is contentment. And contentment is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Lagom. Just enough. The Swedish secret to balance, peace, and a life that actually feels good. Not a life of more. A life of enough. And enough, it turns out, is more than enough. Thank you for listening. Now go find your Lagom. I hope this video brought you something meaningful. If you find it helpful, please like and share it with someone who may need it. Subscribe if you would like to hear more stories like this. Wishing you a calm and peaceful day.